up, everybody? Good to see you. It's Monday, March 11th, and I'm back up in Kyoto, taking a little drive to one of my favorite towns. Don't worry, I'm driving responsibly. Beautiful sunny day, in a really good mood. So yeah, I thought I'd do little one of these videos and catch up with you guys, let you know what's been going on with me. Got some kind of exciting little updates for you. This past weekend was pretty crazy for me because my friend Macie was coming into Japan on tour to play with her band Finom, which is a really cool Chicago band. It's a duo. Well, I guess they started off as a duo, but now they're playing with Spencer Tweedy on drums, really talented musician, really great drummer. Chicago musician. They're a Chicago band, and you know, so the Chicago connection. I basically knew Macie very briefly because my buddy Seth introduced me to her when we were making the Glass album. I needed some violins, some strings on some tracks, and I was asking Seth if he knew anybody that played violin and cello. And for a violinist, he told me like the best violinist in Chicago is this girl Macie, local musician, very talented person, really nice person as well, really easy to get along with, super open-minded and versatile musician in her own right, great singer, great guitar player, just great person. She came in, she was in the studio for a few hours, played incredibly, elevated the tracks that we were working on for the Glass album, and then kind of gave me a hug and left the studio. And yeah, I found out her and her bandmate Sima, Sima's husband, Dorian, who works the mixing board, does the live sound, and Spencer, who's the drummer. They were all coming in, but Sima and Dorian have a 1-year-old daughter that they needed help. You know, they needed somebody to watch over their daughter, Z. I call her Z. While they played these shows in Osaka and Kyoto, and you know, they were looking for someone, and I reached out. I said, you know, my partner and I would love to help. They were really happy with that, so they were like, okay, great. You can come to the Osaka show and the Kyoto show. You know, we'll get you a pass to get in. And the crazy thing was that in Osaka, they were actually going to be opening for Wilco. They're kind of the band that I listen to whenever I'm feeling a bit homesick, you know, living out here in Japan, even when I was living in China for a little bit. When I wanted to feel like I was back in Chicago, I would put on Wilco, like mixture of Jess' voice and the instrumentation, the vibe of those songs really made me feel like I was back. And that's one of the reasons why that band's been so special to me, other than the fact that their fucking music is just great and epic. So I was a bit excited at the prospect of, you know, if we were going to be backstage helping watch over Sima and Dorian's 1-year-old daughter, maybe I would get a chance to, you know, run into some of the members of Wilco backstage. They played this venue called Namba Hatch in Namba in Osaka. It's a pretty decent-sized venue. I think it fits a few thousand people. It was totally sold out. Yeah, you know, we got there a little bit early. We got there earlier than the band. They were running late because their Shinkansen was delayed, which is something that usually doesn't happen, but they were unlucky in that situation. Their Shinkansen was delayed, so we got to the venue, we got in, we got back to the dressing rooms, the green rooms or whatever, you know, and like Finom had their own, Wilco of course had their own separate area, kind of, you know, like par for the course of how things go touring at that level, which was the first time I had ever kind of been backstage and been privy to that whole world, which was cool in itself, you know, very interesting. But yeah, pretty soon Finom rolled in with little Z in a stroller. Got to meet Z, say hi, familiarize ourselves, and my partner and I brought all these kind of stuffed animals and toys and like a little bit of snacks and things to just, you know, make sure that she was all good. She quickly fell asleep. I'm sure, you know, traveling like abroad with a 1-year-old, like the kid's gotta just be like exhausted and overwhelmed. But she's such a well-behaved kid, such a sweet little kid. She fell asleep on my partner's shoulder, and I kind of was like, can I go out to the hallway, maybe walk around a little bit, see if I can bump into any members of Wilco? And my partner was like, go ahead. So I went out there and I was able to run into a few members. I ran into Glenn Kochi, the drummer, super nice guy, he's from Roselle, Illinois, and I'm from Arlington Heights, so we knew about each other's high schools, and like, you know, they're both towns in Cook County. So he talked to me a lot. He asked me a lot of questions. He was like a super nice dude. And let me just say, like, for the record, all 3 members of Wilco that I talked to, you know, first it was Glenn, then I ran into Jeff, talked to him for a little bit, and then I talked to John Stirat, the bassist, kind of after the show. All 3 of those guys, the nicest, most approachable, just chill dudes in rock music. I mean, there's just no ego, no bravado, none of that bullshit. Just like really cool people. And meeting them was, you know, people say, don't meet your heroes, you'll be disappointed every time. But I gotta say, this was like an exception to that, you know, to that idea. But anyway, after kind of our babysitting responsibilities were finished, you know, my partner and I were able to go side stage and watch the show. And man, seeing Wilco from side stage, and then we moved backstage and watched from stage right. Yeah, you know, it was like a super special experience. Probably one of my, you know, all-time favorite concert experiences that I've ever, you know, had the pleasure of going to. To be able to see them from backstage and to meet and to talk to them and just realize that they're just cool, down-to-earth, humble, nice people was just like a really reassuring thing, you know, as someone like in the lower tier of the music. I mean, I'm not even in the music industry, but I'm someone who makes music and has, you know, like goals to reach higher levels of playing shows and, you know, everything like that. It was just cool to see like these people that, you know, I've looked up to musically, are just chill fucking people from Illinois. Just, you know, like, I mean, being an expat living out here in Kyoto, whenever I come across someone from the Midwest, it's always kind of special. And then to meet Wilco and like to realize, oh, they're just Illinois dudes. Like, they're just chill Illinois dudes. It was really cool. It's just cool being like the guy out in Japan that, like, you know, any of my friends, like touring bands from Chicago or whatever, when they roll through like the Kansai region, which usually people do because when they do like shows in Osaka, everybody plays in Osaka, you know, and some people do come play Kyoto as well. I can kind of be here and like meet up with them and hang. And I actually met some other friends of theirs that are living in Japan that I hope to connect with further. Actually, let's do a little U-turn here. So it was just a dope experience, and had a lot of fun, and just wanted to kind of share a little bit of that with you guys. Sometimes meeting your heroes is a positive experience, and yeah. And actually now I'm in a town up in rural Kyoto that I really love, and there's a few nice little places that I'd like to share with you and show you. So I brought my GoPro with me, and I'm just gonna kind of do small little bits and pieces, showing you a few different areas that I really like. And yeah, hopefully share a little bit of the charm of this town which I'm in right now. I thought maybe you guys might appreciate that. After my little spiel about Wilco, let's change the subject and let me show you a few cool things about this town I'm driving through. All right, guys. Yeah. So here I am at this point unused elementary school, or shogako as they call it here. Around here, I guess there's maybe not enough young children anymore to fully attend this school to the point where it would make sense to run it as a school. So, and this situation happens a lot in the countryside, I think in lots of parts of Japan, but I've seen a few in this region around here, like Keihoku and Miyama. If there's not enough children to attend the school, they kind of change it into like a community center or like a culture center. And right now it doesn't really seem like they're doing anything, although I see some lights on in there, so I don't know. But although I haven't really done anything exciting in this one before, there's another unused school that has been converted to a community center where I actually recorded some of the strings for the new album that's going to be coming out this June. I recorded them in a gymnasium where actually I recorded my last life update video sitting on the stage there. So yeah, this is kind of a cool place. And it's cool that, you know, even though they're unable to run the school as it was originally intended to, they still use the building and the facilities there for people that want to do something creative. Maybe people want to have an event or something like that. Or someone like me who wanders in with some microphones and says, hey, can I record some music here? They're always really open as long as you're like nice and introduce yourself, and kind of like me, I'm a teacher in the local area. So if I explain that to them, they're a bit more willing to, give me the key to the gymnasium and let me do my thing. So yeah, but this situation happens a lot in the countryside. You know, there is a declining birth rate in Japan as well as other countries. And, as a result of that, I guess sometimes, you know, some of the countryside schools run out of, you know, kids to attend them. And so what do they do with the building? They repurpose it. All right, so let's get out of here. Take you to the next spot. Thank you for letting me know. My car likes to talk to me. All right, so this next place I want to take you to is a really beautiful 700-year-old Buddhist temple. Oh, look, there's a lumber. Sorry, I got distracted there. You know, to go off on a tangent for a little bit, actually, this part of Kyoto is a lumber and has been a lumber, you know, forestry town for generations. It was a logging town where it still is, as you can see from the wood that was there, and you'll see a little bit more on my drive. For decades and decades, and a few generations, up until the last maybe 20 years or so, the logging industry was booming, and a lot of like the local areas lumber, which is taken from these beautiful forested mountains. I think most of them are cedars. Was sold all around Japan, and a lot of Japan's wood was, sourced from here. But, a few decades ago, Japan started outsourcing for lumber and getting cheaper lumber from other countries. And so the local forestry and lumbering industry sort of went on a big decline. Whereas before you had tons of families that were able to, like the father or the son, or maybe sometimes both, would work in the logging industry. They would make enough money to support their family, and it was a good job to have. These days, a lot of young people, when they grow up in a small town like this, they don't really want to work in this industry. They kind of don't even want to live here when they get old enough. When they graduate high school, a lot of them move to the cities. So a lot of these small towns get a bit neglected. Therefore, the forestry industry doesn't have enough people to run it successfully. It's kind of a dilemma that this region is facing, where the logging industry not only supports the local economy, but the forestry part of that industry helps to regulate and you know, keep clean and keep safe the local forests which surround every town. And you know, these forests need to be maintained. Otherwise, there's going to be landslides, and a lot of these beautiful houses that sit at the base of these mountains are in jeopardy of being damaged if a landslide occurs. And because of the decline of the forestry industry, you know, these forests have become a little bit wilder. I'm just going to let this car go by. And a bit more dangerous. And yeah, so anyway, there's my little rant about this part of town and the industry. Anyway, we're coming up on a very beautiful temple that is 700 years old, traces back all the way to the 14th century. And although sometime in the 1500s it was burned down, I don't know, deliberately, I think it was just destroyed in a fire. It doesn't say if it was arson or if it was just a naturally occurring fire. But yeah, the 1500s, a lot of it burned, but a lot of the foundation stones are still the same. I don't necessarily want to say the name of the temple because it's kind of my little secret. I take my friends here that come and visit me, so if you come and visit me, I'll show you this temple, but I don't want to give away the name of it, because the beautiful thing about this temple is nobody comes here. People come here sometimes in you know, sakura season, because it's very beautiful. The cherry blossoms are very, very beautiful. But as you see, I'm pulling into the parking area around here. There are no other cars at all. And oh my gosh, it is a beautiful, beautiful place. So I am gonna grab my GoPro and kind of walk up there and show you a little bit of it. Let's do it. So first I kind of just wanted to show you, this is the temple's back there behind the camera, but I just kind of wanted to show you a little bit of the view of the valley up on this this hill here. It's a really beautiful view of the town right here, which is probably the quietest town I've been to in this area. I mean, there are definitely people living here and doing stuff here. There's a nice soba restaurant actually down there, just a little bit that way, and there's a river goes through here that people, you know, come during nice weather, bring their kids, play in the water and have a picnic or whatever. But yeah, it's just a beautiful little valley like nestled in between these forested mountains. You can see a little bit of evidence of forestry over there where those trees are cut down and that area is cleared there, so that that Kayabuki style house right there, you know, isn't in danger of, you know, a landslide or trees falling and hitting it. I mean, there's always the danger of a landslide if you live in a spot right over there, but that's why we need forestry workers to, you know, help keep these places safe. But anyway, I always love having a look at this view. Sometimes I bring my journal up here and I kind of just sit up here on the hood of my car and look at this view and kind of write down what I'm feeling, and I just wanted to share this with you guys. So here we are at the entrance. Birds are singing. You can hear some water from a stream over there. And whenever I come here, I'm always kind of struck with a kind of sense of spirituality and, I don't know, a serenity where I kind of get a bit quiet. And, I mean, really, there's nobody else here but myself and you guys. So I'm just going to kind of quietly walk up here, get on in there, and take the handheld camera and show you a detailed view of the inside. Well, not the inside of the temple, but the outside, which is very gorgeous. So let's go. So I guess we can do a little bit of background about how I found this place, which was a cool story. One of my favorite things to do when I am kind of in the local area for work, but I don't have any classes, is walk around, like I told you in previous life update video. And sometimes I drive around. And yeah, on one occasion, I got in my car and just drove down a random road, which ended up winding quite scarily through the mountains. And I came upon this place by chance. I kind of went through a mountain road and then came out into this little town. And then I saw this hill and the entrance to the temple. So I parked my car, and much like today, there was nobody else around but me. And I got out and walked in, and it was actually January. There was still snow everywhere. And in Japan, there's this thing called Hatsumode, where you visit a temple. It's like the first temple visit of the year. You go say some prayers and just go there with your family. You can get a fortune, kind of like the year's reading of what your life can be like that year, what you should keep in mind. And so that was, I guess, my Hatsumode of last year. Anyway, I've made it to the main entrance here. So let's go in and take a look. So here we are, just walked through the gate, and we're at the stone entrance. I bet these stones have been here since, I don't know, the 1300s or 1400s. There's a beautiful little pond here. And yeah, you can see the entrance a bit more detailed. Really, really beautiful, except for my tripod, which is sticking out like a sore thumb. Yeah, look at that. Let's go a little bit more this way. So a temple in Japanese, for those that don't know, is called otera, and it is Buddhist in nature. Buddhism, which came to Japan via China, really took off, and there are tons of temples, including this one, which is a Buddhist temple. And these ones are usually a bit more well kept, and you know, because Buddhism is you know, they have a lot of money from donations from people to maintain their temples. But then there's the other ones called jinja. And jinja, or in English shrine, is not Buddhist, it's actually Shinto. And Shinto is a kind of Japanese folk religion, I guess you could kind of call it, or belief system, which was, it actually predates Buddhism. I don't know why I keep filming myself walking up stairs. I am not somebody who works out all the time, so I'm gonna get a bit out of breath. But yeah, I just really love the solitude and tranquility that you get when you visit some of the temples or shrines more off the beaten path in Japan. And there's thousands of them, you know? And each one is just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm coming up on a graveyard, which I'm not going to film out of respect, but there is a little courtyard to my left that I think you guys might like to see. I can't really get a good view of it, but here it is. You can see there's a kind of like very old tree propped up on a lot of wooden pegs there. And yeah, just a nice little area. I'll take you around the other side. You can actually enter the temple, which I'll show you up here, if it's open. Yeah, so let's go and have a look over there. Really beautiful moss-covered steps here, leading up to the kind of blocked off gate there. Very cool. And then let's go this way. And here, you can see lots of little boxes. A place where you can put some money. Foxes are kind of known as a spiritual animal in Japan, and a lot of the time they guard the entrance to shrines and stuff like that, or temples. Oh, it looks like it's open today. Wow. Take a look at that. So, here we are at the entrance to the temple. And I guess if you can read Japanese, maybe you'll be able to figure out what temple this is. But if you can, please keep it a secret. Yeah, usually at temples like this, if you want to go in, you can, if the door's open. I was actually here yesterday with some friends, and I brought them here. It was a Sunday, but it was closed. But today it's open. So if you want to go in, all you got to do is pay 500 yen. And there's a little sign saying, if nobody is here, please put 500 yen in this little bowl. So it's very trusting, you know. Like in America, we would never really trust even kids with Halloween candy. Please take one from the bowl. But in Japan, it's a totally different culture, and people are very respectful. And if they come in, even if there's no one at the gate checking, they'll definitely pay 500 yen. I've been in here once before. It's really beautiful. I'm not going to take you guys in today. I'm going to save that special treat for people that ever come to visit me. I'm actually thinking of trying to start doing tours here as a business after I finish teaching English. And if I'm able to do that, I'll definitely bring people up here and bring them inside the temple. It's very cool inside there. But as for now, you can just enjoy this beautiful entrance. Gosh, isn't it gorgeous? All right, you guys. So here we are outside the gate. And, you know, I think I'm going to call it here. There's so many other places I'd love to show you. But this video is getting a little bit long. And I kind of want to spread out the other places that I want to take you guys to in other videos. You know, I don't want to just show you everything in one video. I want to stagger it so that you guys can have something to learn every time I do a life update. That'll be the difference between this year's life updates and last year's. Whereas last year's I was kind of just sitting in one place talking. This time I'd like to talk to you and update you, but also kind of take you to see cool places like this. We've just scratched the surface, so stick around to see more beautiful places in the rural countryside of Kyoto. And yeah, hear about things I'm doing. Thank you for sticking with me through this long one. We are almost at 500 subscribers, so if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you like this content, please do so. It really helps this channel out, as you know, like all YouTubers say. Yeah, I'm just so happy that you guys stopped by to listen to me ramble and see some of the places I really love. Stick around for more, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, bye.